Hey guys, this is a review of the VisorCat, which I bought last year towards winter time and used it throughout winter, and it's just a quick overview of how I felt about it. So the price I paid was £37, which I thought was a lot of money for something that just basically wipes the visor essentially. And bearing in mind I had a solution before that, which was the Bob Heath V-Wipe, I think it's called. That solved the issue for the most part. However, I found on a really foggy night out, I used that and my visor, hold on, I'll just show you what it looks like. Yep, so this wiper, I used this and my visor was actually slightly smeared with something. It was like a small amount of rain or something. I couldn't see very well at all. So I found it was really dangerous. So thinking about it, I knew about the VisorCat, but I always thought it was quite overpriced and not really worth the benefit it gave you with the sponge system. However, after that incident, I bought it, and it solved the problem. If it's a rare problem to occur, but if you're a year-round commuter, it makes sense. So the perk of a VisorCat is it has a built-in sponge, which is soaked with water or VisorCat's own solution, which is over here. What it does is it lets you moisten the visor before using the other side to wipe it. So one way swipe, it opens up, the other way just clears the water off. Yeah, so it solved that problem for me, and using it throughout the winter, I realized having that ability to soak the visor was actually quite useful, especially at the end of the commute where your visor's slightly dirty or whatever, and you don't want to take it off and clean it and maintain it. It's just a quick two-step process, and it's good enough that you can see clearly from it. So in that perspective, it worked quite well. So with it, you get this small refill bottle, which just open up, loosen, and just apply it through this hole here. I find it lasts a decent amount of time, like a week or two maybe. So I usually just top it up at the beginning of a week of commuting, and it'll last fine. So I bought the bigger bottle version just because I didn't want to keep on refilling it too frequently. The solution it comes with, I don't see anything special that it does to make your visor any clearer, to be honest. So yeah, I wouldn't purchase it for that blue stuff. I'd rather just use tap water. So the sponge itself, as you can see through the winter, it's actually starting to wear a bit. It's getting quite dirty and starting to fall apart, which is why I bought a new set of sponges. But I'm a bit surprised that I didn't think the sponges would really start disintegrating, but that's what happened after one winter's worth of use. You can see it's leaking a bit because I kind of saturated it with water before. You can just take the sponge out by pulling this tab here, and you can see the wick. Also, another point worth mentioning, the first VisorCat I ordered actually had it had an issue with the sponge not wicking, so the water wasn't really coming out here enough to make the sponge soak it, and so I had to return it and get a new version. So it wasn't perfect once I got it. Also, this strap here as well, it just hangs around and it's quite long, so I didn't want to cut it. So what I did, I just folded it over and got a small elastic band and just put it under that, so it can just hold it snug, it doesn't get in the way. They actually recommend two positions for it. So one is the index finger and the other one is a thumb. I much prefer the index finger simply because when you're using the indicator on the bike, this portion of the VisorCat is actually quite stiff, so it ends up making you not get the right amount of movement you'd like to change the indicators, to use the indicators essentially. Just a note on this Bob Heath V-wipe. I definitely, by the way, this is a band that goes around the wrist to keep it in place so it doesn't fall off. If you're on a budget, this thing is amazing for, I think £5 it costs. I used this for many years before switching to the VisorCat. It has the best wiper I've ever used. It molds to the shape of the visor a lot better, even much better than the VisorCat as well, because this isn't perfectly remove water, not as good as the V-wipe. And I found this to be much better than the built-in wipers, such as the one here on this Spada glove, and even the Dainese ones here, and even the Held's own built-in one as well. So it's definitely worth it if you ride in the rain a lot, as a cheap alternative. However, you still get the problem where you may smear some crap if you have something on your visor that's not just water. It might cause more problems, so there is that to keep in mind. Yeah, and also another thing to mention, if you use something like this, it does actually help as well to allow the rain to fall off the visor a lot easier. Just another thing, but this coating works much better at motorway speeds. So if you're not doing dual carriageways or motorways, it doesn't help that much. You do notice the water go clear slightly quicker, but it's not good enough on its own.